everybody, welcome back to the summer series for the From the Mountains to the Sea edition of 4-H on Jekyll Island. I'm Corinne Zeely, the program specialist here at Tidelands Nature Center, and we're going to be paddling on Jekyll today. So we have a couple of different ways that we paddle on Jekyll, and one of the people that's going to be helping us out today is one of our guides. This is Megan.
Hi, I'm a naturalist here. I also lead kayak tours.
Yeah, so we have a couple of options for paddling on Jekyll. We do our guided kayak tours out into the marsh, which anybody can do. This is a tandem kayak, and just to compare it to one of our canoes. You can also canoe here on Jekyll, and it's one of the voyages we do for our summer camps here on the pond. To make sure we have a nice, safe trip, Megan's going to tell us about some of the gear we take out with us.
Hi, so we always bring an extra paddle with us. We also bring a village pump. This will help get water out of the boat. This is a paddle float. This will help the guide get themselves back in their boat if they fall out. And also, we do have a tow rope. We use the tow rope to help pull the participants if they need help paddling. Also then, we will paddle on our pond, but we'll also go out to the intercoastal and paddle on the Jekyll River. While we're out there, we also like to look for boats too. There's a lot of boat traffic on the intercoastal too.
All right, awesome. So let's go paddle around, see what we can find. Alrighty guys, so we have made it out here into the marsh. We're doing a low tide paddle. You can tell it's low tide because you can see all of the mud and the oyster beds are exposed. Normally a lot of this is underwater at high tide. These oysters are a really, really important part of the ecosystem, but they are pretty sharp and can make it a little difficult to get into some of the creeks. So it kind of controls where we end up going. We can come out at high or low tide to paddle around and kind of explore and see how different the marsh is.
Shark.
And there's a shark right behind me. Don't worry. We do see a few small sharks while we're out here paddling around occasionally, especially at low tide. We'll see if he peeks back out. So during our kayak trips, we really like to stop here next to this outflow pipe from the water treatment facility on the island. This is actually a really good source of fresh water for manatees. So we always like to check and see if anybody's visiting us. They're usually only here between April and October while the waters are nice and warm. So we'll take a look around and see if anybody's hanging out today.
The tricky part about spotting manatees in the waters off of Jekyll has to do with the color of our water. Thanks to all of the marsh and mud that we have around Jekyll, the water is basically like soup. It has tons of nutrients for all of the animals that live in our waterways. Unfortunately, that means it's a little tricky to see through the water. So to spot a manatee, you'll actually have to wait for them to either come up for a breath of air, or you might get lucky and see their backs near the surface, or their tail come up out of the water as they're swimming around. Let's keep paddling to see what other wildlife we can find. Wildlife such as birds, sharks, stingrays, and dolphins are often more active at low tide when smaller fish and shrimp have less room to escape from those larger predators. For some wildlife, it depends on the time of year that you're paddling, such as seeing the manatees in the summer months, but you're more likely to spot our bald eagles in the cooler months. With these differences, each trip is going to be a little bit different, whether you're going at high tide, low tide, or just a different time of the year.
Hey everyone, Greg here. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. When I'm kayaking, canoeing, or even walking the beach, one thing that I always love doing is simply to take a moment or two to sit back, relax, and experience what nature is offering at that given time. So, Let's take some time together now to simply enjoy the sights and sound of the coast of Georgia.
Thanks so much for joining us for this last summer series of our From the Mountains to the Sea on Jekyll with 4-H. There's a ton that you can do here on the island with 4-H, getting out and exploring in nature. We hope you got a chance to do that out on your own this summer as well, and we can't wait to see you guys again soon. Thanks.